Welcome to r/EntitledParents, where an entitled auntie demands to be compensated for not going to her own father's funeral. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe. And without wasting any more time, let's dive right in. You expect me to help you after you demanded to be compensated for not going to your own father's funeral? You don't deserve anything, and I will only speak to you in any other language other than English. I apologize in advance because this is a relatively long story, but I want to give context so that you can understand my anger and frustration close to the end. So, I have mentioned a little about my family. They are a hot mess, both sides. A little backstory for some context. The cast is EA for entitled auntie, me for me, DC for dumb, and I mean dumb cousin, M for my mom. Now my mom wasn't the greatest mom, but she did take care of Poppy, my grandpa, her dad, and I'm grateful that I at least had him growing up as my role model. Some of my family expects too much and expects help when they do nothing to show that they actually deserve it. The whole "but we are family" doesn't work on me anymore either. Recently, an auntie of mine decided to get back into contact with me. Not sure if she actually missed me or just missed getting the money from my mom. My auntie hasn't worked a day in her whole life and was basically paid by the government to pay for her being unable to close her legs. I know that sounds super harsh, but she's a very self-entitled, rude and lazy woman. She even got her kids to sell Daries, which is cigarettes, at school, at effing school, for money for herself. I know this happened because my mom and she had a screaming match when my mom found out. I used to visit my auntie and cousins all the time to where I actually felt like they were my brothers because we were so close. However, my auntie went too far when we moved to another state and expected my mom to pay for her to come visit us. She wanted us to pay for her company. She did not see her dad because she missed him, she did it for money. I tried to be as positive as I could for Puppy's sake, but because he didn't get to see his other daughters, my mom has 2 other siblings, but I had enough when EA blamed my mother for my puppy getting cancer. Effing cancer. I would not be surprised if she thought it was contagious like the flu because she was an early high school dropout. Had no book smarts or street smarts, even though she lives in a very dangerous area, the kind that once it was nighttime you shouldn't leave because of muggers, drug dealers, gangs, etc. My eldest cousin was and still is very gifted and never forgets anything. The 2 youngest, however, were really stupid. The youngest is part Chinese and would actually go out of his way to call every Asian he saw bad names, even though he's part Chinese as well. That kind of stupid. I'm usually a calm and collected person, but once people started blaming my mom for Puppy's cancer, I lost the plot. I rarely snap, but when I do, my face gets red with rage and shout, which I rarely do. This is what set me off. DC, your mother caused his cancer, you know. If he didn't live there, he would be fine. Keep in mind, this was in 2014 and I was 18 at the time. She was 26. DC was so much of a coward that she couldn't say it to my face, but on the phone. Me? Are you effing kidding me? We made him comfortable here when he moved. You guys could have taken him in when he moved. He didn't move with us straight away. He decided to stay with us because we actually treated him like a person and I missed him like crazy. You guys had the room to take him, but you didn't want to spend money on your own grandpa. If anyone, you lot should be ashamed. It was silent for a moment, then she mumbled something and hung up. Then the second youngest cousin kept ringing us and harassing us too. I took care of it because my mom wanted to be there for Puppy so he wasn't alone. I took over all the chores at the house and even cooked food for my mom to take into hospital so she could at least eat a proper meal. After about a month after he passed, we still got harassing calls. My mom was a mess, I was too, but my mom got so depressed that she didn't eat much and kept to herself. EA said that she was entitled to have part of her dad's cremation sent to her even though she couldn't be bothered to say goodbye to him when she could. Even my auntie, who has agoraphobia, the fear of going outside, came to say goodbye. I have never yelled at EA until this point, so she was shocked and silent. Also, I have a tendency of swearing like a sailor when I'm mad. You have to be kidding me, you deserve nothing. You were too lazy to say goodbye to Puppy when he was dying in the hospital. You have no one else to blame than your effing self. Grow the F up, you self-entitled hypocritical witch. Silence. EA.
But he got cancer because of your mom.
Me? How effing stupid are you? You cannot catch cancer, you effing mophead. He smoked like a chimney since he was 14 and drank a lot. Of course it was going to affect him. Keep in mind that my puppy was born in 1942 and it was considered cool, and some people even believed it had health benefits. EA.
You cannot talk to me like that. I'm older than you.
Me? Really? No grown adult with common sense believes that cancer is contagious, you effing wombat. You want Puppy? Come get him yourself, you lazy woman. My puppy already made his will and agreed for his 3 daughters to keep part of his ashes if they wanted. He even put me in his will for almost $1,500 because I was more like his daughter than grandchild, and had never once disrespected him because I looked up to him. I did not want the money, by the way, I just wanted some of his clothes. I know it sounds a little weird, but I was going to miss him and even his scent. His Stephen King collection, because it had sentimental value to me as he introduced me to Stephen King as a teenager, and I also wanted to keep his vinyl collection because we would do a little dorky dance with each other on some of our favorite songs. I slammed the home phone down and took a deep breath because I was so riled up that I was shaking. My mom looked at me, completely shocked, and asked what happened. She had never seen me this angry in her life. I was the patient one in the family and the first to try to defuse the situation. Mom, what happened? I've never heard you yell like that before, and your face is tomato red. After I told her, giving a synopsis because EA was plain cruel in her wording, she was upset but not surprised. We got more calls after that, and I told my mom that I will get it and that she should just sit back down. DC was screaming once I answered.
How dare you talk to my mom like that?
Instead of carrying on with this ridiculous, idiotic fight, I answered in Chinese Mandarin. She sounded obviously confused, thinking she dialed the wrong number. DC then rang again, I answered in Chinese again. Once I hung up on her, while she was yelling, I told my mom that we should block their numbers and to get a new number. Oh, by the way, the second cousin has actually gone to jail for numerous things, including battery and assault, having sex with a minor, he knocked up a 15-year-old girl, and I wish I could also testify sexual assault as well, but my only proof is my PTSD. I hope he rots in prison. I decided to share this because it's his death anniversary and my entitled auntie tried getting into contact me and start drama all over again. I, of course, blocked her. I still wrote her number down just in case she tried to harass my mom or others in our family that have also cut ties with her. I don't care what you say to me, but come after my mother and I will hunt you down. The next post is from /I don't work here lady. No words were needed. I've been paranoid about being mistaken for an employee since I started reading /I don't work here lady. Even had nightmares about it. I'm usually pretty careful, but last month I slipped up. It was mid-December, so the Christmas shopping frenzy was in full swing. I had already done mine on Cyber Monday, but that particular morning I had fed my cat the last crumbs at the bottom of the bag and really needed to stop after work to get cat food among other absolute essentials. I stopped at the local Blue Vest place because it was my only chance to grab everything I needed in one stop. As soon as I stepped through the doors, I felt eyes on me. Intensely. Then it dawned on me I had worn my Blue Company polo today. Same shade and everything, save for a print of the healthcare company I work for on the right breast pocket. I resolved to get in, at least get the cat food, no kitty of mine goes hungry, stay low key and get out. I stayed out of the main aisles, I didn't make eye contact with anyone. If somebody started approaching me, I quickly ducked around a corner and I was killing it. I had everything but the cat food when I finally ran into the boss of this level. There were several people in the cat food aisle, including an older man. He was visibly confused and upset and was shuffling through cat food bags. They quite obviously didn't have his brand on display. I approached slowly and quietly like a lioness stalking prey through the tall grass of the savannah. I reached around the man and grabbed the kitty kibble. I thought I was home free, but when I dropped the bag in my hand basket, the old guy finally noticed me. He locked eyes with me, he took a breath and was preparing to say something probably along the lines of,
"Hey, could you check the bag for blah blah brand?"
If he asked me for help, other customers would hear, and at that point, it might as well be sharks drawn to blood in the water. I took a gamble before a sound escaped him. I quickly put my finger to my lips, indicating for him to shush. The gambit paid off. Rather than get incensed at the audacity of the gesture to a customer, he was confused and curious. I shook my head and pointed to the logo on my shirt. He peered down through his bifocals, said a simple,
Okay,
and he went on his way. No real words were exchanged. I hauled it through the back aisles to the cash registers, paid, and got the heck out of there without any more unnecessary human contact. And yeah, I might have social anxiety issues. Alright guys, that's all the content I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And I hope you have a fantastic day, and I see you again tomorrow.